What's going on, guys? Unofficial MCU here. I hope you're all doing well. And in today's video, we're going to be combining both episode 5 and episode 6, the season finale of the Hawkeye show, with our full breakdown and review on both of these episodes. So without further ado, we're going to jump right on into it. It's very similar to what I'm doing here is what I did with the season premiere here for the Hawkeye show. I combined my video of both episode 1 and episode 2 into one video, so I thought I might as well just combine these two episodes, episode 5 and episode 6, into one single video, since I'm honestly really behind and need to catch up on a lot of things here. The only actual reason for that I am so behind on these reviews for these episodes, especially for episode 5, is not only just every single day type of life in general. I'm busy with school and I'm busy with work. I recently just got into winter break, but I've also been staying off of a lot of social medias in order to avoid any Spider-Man No Way Home spoilers. My review video of Spider-Man No Way Home is up now on the channel, so make sure you guys go check that out as well. So starting out with episode 5 here, honestly this episode had three main highlights. Number one being Elena from the Black Widow movie, Natasha's sister coming back here for the Hawkeye show. That there was kind of something that we already knew about this character, is that she's coming back. Number two, of course, would be Hawkeye putting on the Ronin costume once again to face off Maya. I think that was really cool, an awesome fight sequence there going on, and how he revealed himself to her. Furthermore, honestly does create more of a danger, because I still feel like that there's some unfinished business going on between these two characters. That's something I'm going to talk a little bit more about here for the episode 6 review slash recap here. And then the third main highlight for episode 5, of course, at the very end there, is that we get our first official look at Kingpin here in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I have a lot to say on this character here, especially what we saw here in the season finale with episode 6 and Kingpin. We're going to talk about all that in just a few moments. The interactions here between Kate Bishop and Yelena, of course, are very interesting, and I'd like to see more of these two characters bonding somewhere in the future. That's something else I'm going to talk about more in episode 6 review here, and that's kind of what I keep saying here about everything, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on here in episode 6. Episode 5 does a great job at building up a lot of suspense for what we're going to be seeing here in episode 6, the season finale here for the Hawkeye show. And probably my most favorite two highlights of this episode were the 5 years later type of thing here, that little blip that we got to see here. We got to see Yelena live through the snap from Thanos. I think that's something really cool, and how the people that were actually snapped, what they saw, it was literally just 5 seconds for them, and that was honestly crazy. That's something that we did hear about in Avengers Endgame, but we never really got to see this like from their point of view and their perspective. It was literally a short 5 seconds compared to the 5 years that we know in the Marvel Cinematic Universe happening in real time. And then they were quite literally like erased from existence for a good 5 years. It only seems like 5 seconds for them. There's probably going to be more explanations on for what exactly was going on, however, with the snap. Not only that, but I kind of like how they kind of keep it as a general timeline. There's things that are pre-snap and, you know, after the snap and the blip and all of those different events kind of going and surrounding Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame is something very interesting to me. So I quite honestly think it goes without saying that we're definitely going to be hearing more about the blip and the snap here, and how people were exactly affected about it. This is essentially a huge thing that Marvel Phase 4 has really been doing. Okay, let's talk a little bit about episode 6, because there was a lot that happened in episode 6 here, and some of it was good and some of it's bad. I'll be completely honest and transparent with you guys. This was overall, it felt disappointing. By the end of the episode, I just felt disappointed, and don't even get me started on the post-credits scene. I'll talk a little bit about that post-credit scenes here in just a few moments here, but yes, this episode, of course, as a finale, does very well with kind of ending off everything and bringing closure to everything. Is something what is a show finale supposed to exactly do. We got a whopping 8 minutes of screen time of Kingpin and his character, and he is all types of menacing, and I really want to see more of him, but that's just the unfortunate truth, it seems like. I mean, Kingpin, it appears that he is killed. He dies from Maya at the end of the episode, and from what? A gunshot wound? He gets shot and dies? Are you freaking kidding me? Kingpin, out of all people? I was very angry about that, and we do have a little bit of a rumor going around here that he wasn't actually necessarily killed from that, and that there's supposedly a removed post-credit scene that was a deleted scene that is going around, apparently, as a rumor that he actually does live, and it shows him furthermore in a post-credit scene instead of well, I guess what we got there for that Rogers the Musical, that was an absolute mess. Taking it from a guy that isn't completely all gung-ho about musicals, that was extremely, extremely bad and disappointing. But let me open your guys' eyes here about that post-credit scene. Not every single post-credit scene needs to plan out like the next 30 shows and movies that we're going to be getting here for the MCU. They can simply just be for fun, and that's what they did. And that's something that we do need to realize as Marvel fans, is that these post-credit scenes aren't always going to be the best thing ever. So yes, by the end of episode 6, the season finale here for Hawkeye, I was disappointed with two heavily major things, and that there would be Kingpin and the post-credit scene, a musical out of all things. It felt disappointing, but I guess it was just for fun, so yeah, I guess I'll just kind of let that be. But the death of Kingpin is just something you can't really necessarily get over, and the fact that there's a rumored, reported, deleted scene of an extended post-credit scene showing that he's still actually alive and out there means the absolute world to me, and I really can't think why on earth would they cut it. I've been looking forward to this character so much, and although I haven't completely watched all of the Daredevil series, I would really like to see more of this character, more specifically within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And while I don't want to go too in-depth with Spider-Man No Way Home quite yet here on the channel, I want to keep it completely spoiler-free. There was a lot of things that happened in that movie that really could have reflected off on what we would have seen here in the season finale of the Hawkeye show, but they were honestly too close of a correlation with it kind of being too closely tied up. I mean, not everybody had the chance to go see Spider-Man No Way Home quite yet, so it wouldn't necessarily be completely fair to have a lot of correlations, connections here for Spider-Man No Way Home and the Hawkeye finale. And I know that we're on a little bit of a Spider-Man high here at the moment, but not everything needs to be about Spider-Man. The Hawkeye show is called Hawkeye for a reason, because it's about Clint Barton and his character as Hawkeye. So that they're kind of talking about episode 5 and episode 6 here about the Hawkeye show. Overall, the overall show, it could have been better, but it could have been way worse. Now, comparing it to WandaVision, comparing it to the What If show, comparing it to Loki, especially Loki, and comparing it to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, all these other Marvel shows that we've had in the past year of 2021, it could have been way, way better on those standards. Honestly, my own thoughts and opinions, the WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, and even the What If show were honestly all on their equal levels, and pretty much all equally great, and I loved each one pretty much equally. However, when it comes to the Hawkeye show, I think I loved everything about it, and I maybe thought a little bit maybe too much into it here and there, but at the end of the day, I think I did enjoy it, but maybe not to the same comparison as these other shows that we got in the year of 2021 for Disney Plus Marvel. And while I'm not here to completely just rip and tear down on everything and hate on everyone else's thoughts and opinions, remember that this is my own personal thoughts and opinions, and honestly, I'm going to say what I want to say. Something that the Marvel community as a whole was able to actually agree on is that, yes, this show wasn't completely the best. It could have been way better, and comparing it to these other 2021 Marvel shows that we had, it could have been way better compared to those, honestly. And something that kind of got a lot of Marvel fans here throughout this overall show was just some of the editing in some areas was slacking. For me, if you guys remember watching my review on the season premiere here, episode 1 and episode 2, there was some slacking editing going on with some of the audio effects when it came to Kate Bishop dressed up as the Ronin and fighting in that fight sequence. Over-exaggeration of acting, over-exaggeration of audio, and that type of thing. And there was a few other things that a lot of other people were actually upset, especially here in episode 5, believe it or not, when she's in a when she's texting her mom, and we see at the end of the episode she sees Kingpin being sent. The texting looks completely fake, guys. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest, it just looks really bad, and that was kind of a common thing that was going on throughout this overall show. It was a little bit shaky here and there with some of, maybe it was dialogue, or maybe it was some of its editing, or whatever it might have been. It might have been action sequences. A lot of the action sequences, however, don't get me wrong, were absolutely amazing with his choreography and all of that, however, in this overall show, but some of that acting was a little iffy on Haley Steinfeld's side of things here. I know she's an amazing and talented actress, and I want to see the best of her. I think that she could have been a little better here in the Hawkeye show as a whole. But I'm very, very excited to see more of her in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Same thing goes for Hawkeye. Hopefully we'll also get to see more of him. This isn't necessarily closing off his story. Who knows? Maybe he even will get 3 movies of his own and a trilogy of his own. Is something I think would be really, really cool. So at the end of the day, it was good, it was bad, it had good spots, it had bad spots, could have been better, could have been way worse. Of course, this here was another outstanding Marvel show in my own terms and conditions. I rated a 7 out of 10, comparing it to WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and the Loki show. Those were pretty much all like 9 out of 10 and 8 out of 10 type of shows. So yes, on the scale, it's a little lower for me. there was a lot of missed opportunities that they could have had in there, and yes, like how I mentioned, yes, there's missed opportunities that they could have had in this show. Remember that at the end of the day, this show here is about Hawkeye and not really any other superheroes. So with that, yes, an amazing show, and I wouldn't necessarily bank on a season 2 of the Hawkeye show. I feel like they would have already announced it somewhere, maybe in a post-credit scene actually, but yeah, a pretty good show. Nice Christmassy theme is something I really enjoyed about this show. So yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section down below, guys. What did you guys think about the Hawkeye show as a whole? Did you guys enjoy the overall show, or did you think it was a little bit iffy? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. I'd absolutely love to hear what you guys all think. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it, as it really does help with the channel. And share on Instagram, unofficial MCU, for more Marvel-related content, guys. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, remember, with great power comes great responsibility. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.